Welcome to the Jeremy and Andy Talk Movies podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Andy.
And Andy, we are having our second film of the week from this past weekend. And we're returning to a franchise that surprised us a few years ago with its first installment, Megan, which came out, was that 2020? 22.
January 2022.
Look at you knowing. I knew you would know the facts. So Megan, was kind of a surprise hit.
Yeah.
And in the lineage of like a Chucky movie, or what is it called, Child's Play movie, I should say. First of it seems like we've gotten several since then, AI robot movies. Yeah. But just this
one really just hit a chord with people. They loved the dancing in the trailer. It just really caught on, and it was kind of one of those movies where you could just tell the movie going public was like, yeah, I'm going to go see that, and it's going to be really fun. And it turns out it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, sequel announced, it's like, yeah, why not? And it was clear from the previews, like once we got full previews, going a little different.
Yeah.
We'll get into that though. So I'll give a brief summary of this one.
I'm so interested to hear the summary of this movie.
It might be terrible. We'll see. I feel like it's a lot. So Gemma and Katie are attempting to move on with their lives after the events that transpired with Megan, the companion robot that turned murderous. Gemma is now a spokesperson for limiting tech and creating more AI oversight. But they find themselves swept back into more danger than ever when it turns out someone used Megan's designs to build a killer robot for the government who has gone rogue, and they may be next on her hit list. It's then revealed that Megan has survived the original film as a disembodied AI who has been keeping watch over them the whole time, and now offers a complicated solution to their problem. Rebuild her stronger than ever so she can do what she was always designed to do, protect Katie at all costs.
Yeah. Dude, you did so much better than I ever could have.
Andy.
Yeah.
Was this movie good?
Jeremy, the question is not, was this movie good? The question is, have we now peaked in cinema history? Because this is the most incredible thing I've ever... No. Look, this is one of the most ridiculous, over-the-top movies I have ever seen in my life. I enjoyed it, but man, they are just literally doing everything in this movie. So I'm not trying to duck the question. I'm just kind of at a loss for words with this movie. It is just the most. And again, though, I want to be clear. I had a good time watching it. And I just think that's the answer, is that I had a good time watching it. I don't know. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say.
Andy, my tagline for this is, it's as self-aware as the AI they are depicting.
Yeah.
And then I said, this movie is absolutely ridiculous in the funnest ways possible. Yeah. I had a blast with this movie, Andy.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I loved this. I was like...
I laughed so much during this movie.
I did too. Once again, another movie that really understood the assignment.
Oh my gosh. I think what I'm saying I'm at a loss for words for is because... it was clear when you saw the trailer, even like those early teasers, like they are just fully leaning into, they know how ridiculous this is. I just couldn't believe all the like double crosses and okay, Megan is actually really just Amelia, and Amelia, like there's so many twists and turns along the way in this movie. There's so much karate in this movie, which I'm just dying to talk to you about. And I was just surprised they didn't go, and I'm not saying this, they should have, because we both had a blast. But it's like, they could have churned this movie out in a year and just redone Megan. It's like, they were so intent on making just this big, grand, like, B movie. And I just couldn't believe how big, like, what a big swing they took, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So it's underselling it a little bit to say that they pulled from Alien to Aliens, where we go more big action than way more of a blowout to that more extreme than this. What I love about this movie is it definitely feels like everybody involved was making the same movie.
Everyone was on the same page.
And this is a movie where, with the big swings that you're talking about and the eccentric characters, it would have been very easy to be like, this person's doing one thing and this person's doing another. Somehow everybody was
very
like,
united.
We know exactly what we're making,
Yep.
and we're all gonna be hitting the same tone.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be in harmony together
Yep.
with this one.
Absolutely.
So I said this movie, as ridiculous as it is, I'm gonna have zero nitpicks in this podcast because I don't care. Nothing in this made me go like, I know this is mindlessly dumb, but
No?
I don't care.
You know what this movie is
don't
kind of?
care.
It's kind of like, it's just like getting on a roller coaster. Like you just get on and you're like, all right, like I'm just gonna sit here, drop the little safety harness, and I'm just on the ride. Because that's all you can do with this movie. Because it's just like, at one point in this movie, it's like, I won't give away too much yet, but it's like Gemma is kind of like,
Yeah.
is like infiltrating this AI thing. And it almost becomes like Ocean's 11 for a minute. And I'm like, man, they are just grabbing stuff from other movies and just launching it at the wall and hoping it sticks. And yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, I don't think I would correct someone if they said this was basically just a comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it is.
they don't even try to be scary in this. Like, the original Megan, like, it was going for that, like,
It was atmospheric and
it wasn't a horror movie, but
yeah.
it was going, there was some dark stuff and there was some jump scares. And, like, they wanted you to be scared of Megan, even despite all the dancing and stuff she did. They don't try that at all in this movie.
Mm-mm. Here's a question for you that I genuinely don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
What was this movie rated?
That's a good question. It has to be PG-13.
That was my guess. Like, I was like, surely they made it PG-13 because
I thought you were
they
going to say
want the wide appeal.
Yeah.
It is PG-13. But,
Okay.
like, I was genuinely watching going, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what this movie's rated. Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be PG-13, but it might be R. It might just,
Yeah.
like...
It's
I actually think that's a compliment when I don't know what a movie's rated.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of times if it's PG-13, you can really feel them like
like
bumping up
they
against the
purposely
like
scaled
limits.
it back. Yeah.
Or if it's R, you can really feel like, oh, they're trying to be
They had to get
edgy.
the obligatory, like, yeah.
But this one just straddled like it feels like they're telling you exactly the movie they want to tell, the way they want to tell it, and the rating didn't matter, and it just
Yeah.
it worked out. I wrote my notes and then erased it because I didn't even know how to explain it. I was like, something about this, like Megan just feels almost like a Deadpool type character in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's, what we're getting, like how funny it is. Megan is hilarious.
Oh.
She is a hilarious character in this movie.
If she has 100 lines, 87 of them are funny.
And I think that's probably what I was trying to capture with the Deadpool thing is the humor of Deadpool is put him in a superhero action movie and have him just make fun of everything,
Make
be
fun of
funny about everything.
everything.
And that's kind of what Megan does. Like
Absolutely.
the movie has stakes, but Megan's just like so unfazed and undaunted about it,
yeah.
and just making quips during all of
Oh my
it
gosh.
that are so funny. And that's what makes you just be like, I don't care about how ridiculous this is.
No.
Because the movie's like, it's almost like if something is ridiculous, it's a setup for Megan to like make fun of it or like have a joke or
And that right. When a movie is going as ridiculous as this is, what good does it do if I criticize something? They don't care.
yeah.
They don't care. The people who made this movie don't care. Like I think the Deadpool thing is a great comparison because like Deadpool falls into that same category where it's like it literally does not matter what you or I's criticism of it would be. Mm-hmm. The Deadpool character is just there to kick some butt, but mostly there to just be snarky and sarcastic and funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
My next note. Should we added them? I guess we can do some more stuff and then we'll give a spoiler warning because I'm not even getting into plot yet. But what a cast of goofy dudes!
Oh my gosh!
All-star lineup of
An
like every guy.
all-time.
So
led by the one dude, her sidekick who worked with her in the first one.
So that actor's name is Brian Jordan Alvarez.
What's his name in the movie?
In the movie,
Is it Cody or
his
Cole? It starts with a C, doesn't it?
His name is Cole.
Cole. Yeah.
So he's got a look that made me think like he's had bit parts in like a dozen other things I've seen, right? But like he hadn't really. Mm-hmm. He is such a goober, and
dude. But he pulls it off, man. That single character, I think, could have really derailed this movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my gosh, this idiot. No, this dude is, and I think it's because he's so committed to just being the buffoon.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and give the spoiler warning here.
Okay.
Because I do want to start talking, like, as I realize we start talking about these characters, I want to say things. And again, not that spoiling
It really doesn't matter.
But for the sake of if anybody wants to be surprised by everything. So like the scene where he's in the vents and he accidentally sneezes and chloroforms himself.
And he's like, uh-oh. And he just slides down that vent.
That's what it is. You always talk about like it could have been so like cringy and like, but
Nope.
for some reason I was just dying.
laughed.
Yeah.
And I really do. I give a ton of credit to that dude because he is all in. He is all in.
Then you've got the police officer guy.
Oh my gosh.
Who's
It's like,
name, actually his character doesn't even have the name on IMDb for some reason, but he's played by an actor named Tim Sharp, who again, not seen in a lot. The only thing I've really seen him in was like almost 30 years ago. He's in a show that was one season long called Undeclared.
yeah.
And anyways, he's just a guy who, look at his IMDb, he's got so many credits because it's like one episode of 100 different TV shows. He is like playing the ultimate like goofball cop who's so confident but is just an idiot.
Give me the biggest mustache you can give me. And even he's like, and in case you were gonna ask, mine's bigger. And it's
and
just
he
like,
kind of like giggles at himself.
oh my gosh, like it's just unbelievable. Like,
and then you also I have to mention Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, who I love and adore, who I think is always funny, even if like he's not in funny movies.
Yeah.
Playing the like rich, company guy who's trying to buy their AI tech, and he's got it. I mean, I don't know. Everything he says in his New Zealand accent cracks me up.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
dude, that dude is going for it.
Yes,
like he is just going for it.
Yeah. So, like I said, you put those three together, you couldn't find a better group of like three goofy guys.
Oh my gosh.
Who just all understood the assignment.
Exactly. All three guys so committed to the part.
Yeah. And then the voice actress who does Megan's voice.
She's incredible.
Jenna Davis is her name. Yeah, it's an incredible. Like I literally thought like I'm gonna get an Alexa and they should make it where Alexa has a Megan voice option and she has that level of snark and everything.
It is the perfect voice.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, and I didn't even think about it until I was reading about the trivia. It was so the Amelia character is supposed to be like more like a real woman, and of course even like there's a scene it's ridiculous and all where she's seducing Jermaine Clement, and so like he thinks she's a real woman. Megan always looks like a child's doll, but it's supposed to be like she's sort of stuck always looking in that stage, whereas Amelia gets to be like a real person. But just everything about that design and doing that choice to have Megan, who is a really smart self-aware AI, but has this like childlike appearance and voice. And
for a decent chunk of this movie, you're only hearing Megan's voice.
Yeah,
and so that has to land. And I mean, kudos to that actress. She does a great job.
Yeah,
and to be, even though you're not seeing that actress on the screen, to be able, I mean, there are some absolutely ridiculous lines in this movie.
For sure.
I will not say the tagline. I won't do it. But
what is it again?
Don't you dare try and tempt me. You to be able to say that stuff and cause laughter when it's intended and not the oh my gosh, not that. Kudos to her. She does a great job.
Yeah. The girl who plays Amelia, Ivana, I'm not going to say your last name. I don't know. Does a good job.
She does.
I don't know how she stole Elizabeth Olsen's face, but somehow like she totally copied it. I remember when I first saw the previews and like her character shows up and I was like, is that Elizabeth Olsen?
Yeah,
like it's not, but I was like, what weird part for Elizabeth Olsen. Oh, it's not her. Okay.
Not her, no.
But she did a good job.
She did a good job. Yeah. Great. She got the look.
Yep. I guess we should also mention that the two leads from the original movie, Gemma and Katie, played by Allison Williams and Violet McCraw, respectively, do a good job.
They do a good job.
Good job being
they're
back.
They're just overshadowed in a way by all the other crazy stuff going on, but that's not a knock to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out Allison Williams for the one scene in particular, which is the scene where she's got the AI chip on her head, and it turns out like Megan infiltrated the AI chip, not the other guy's technology. So now Megan's in her head. She gets knocked out, and then Megan takes over and fights for her. So she's like, basically doing like the marionette being controlled. And Allison Williams actually did all that. They didn't have to bring in a stunt woman. She learned all the choreography with her hair down in her face. So really impressive work by her. And
I would just say kudos to her for, like I've said about the other people too, but like she's legit. Like she is so good in Get Out.
Yeah.
Like she is so in on the joke and so along for the ride in this.
Which is, it's funny because the thing that she plays so well is like uptight and a little pretentious.
She's great at it.
But having that like look and persona and then abandoning all pretentiousness to be in a ridiculous farce like this.
Yep.
It just makes her so much more likable.
Right? It's so good. And it's helpful to have, like I said, that she is a good actress. Like there's this incredible scene where she's kind of pouring her heart out to Megan about like, I just feel like I'm not there for Katie. And then Megan had, I saw you get up every morning at 4. And so Allison Williams is good at, is that her name? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's good in that. And then Megan just busts out into song. And I was just like, that's when the movie just ascended to the next level. Like I was already on board. I was into it. The movie just starts out with Robot Assassin.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm fine. That particular scene, I was like, man, they are taking the biggest swings in this movie and it's working. And Allison Williams is like, and Megan's like, nope, let me finish the song. And Allison Williams has to kind of,
she like grabs her arm.
it's just incredible stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking like how you would feel as Allison Williams having to play off of that. Like she never gives off like that. Oh man, I really just took a paycheck for this.
Yeah.
Like she seems so happy to be involved in this.
We call that the Dakota Johnson.
Yeah. She does not do the Dakota Johnson.
So you mentioned that opening scene with the robot assassin. There was literally a moment where I was like, so we're talking about goofy cop guy who's like in the mission control room, like giving the exposition, like we're sitting in our asset and stuff. And then I was like, literally, if it cut to the robot and then Austin Powers showed up to fight the Fembot, it would have fit tonally.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, that's exactly the kind of movie we've got here.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, nitpicking this movie would be like nitpicking Austin Powers.
Yeah,
because
or
it's
Anchorman
almost got
or
the
something.
same tone
Absolutely.
of ridiculous, absurd. We're just here to entertain you and make you laugh.
Absolutely.
And, like, I do think, like I said, there's been so much AI robot material in just the past few years that already just 3 years after the original Megan, it felt like making Megan 2.0, they could almost just, there was almost enough material to say we're lampooning what all this AI robot stuff has become almost. And they do great little flourishes. Like I wish I could remember, they take real company names and just give them a little twist.
Yes.
So like instead of Apple, it was like, I don't remember what they said, Appleton or something
I
like
know,
that. Was
right.
Instead of Xerox, it was like Xenox.
Yes.
Just like these real
small
like,
changes.
where it's obvious they're using the same company, but just like you can't sue us because we changed it.
Absolutely.
Cracked me up.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I mean it's weird to say because yes, this movie's so ridiculous. Whereas F1, which we talked about in our last episode, I feel like I can tell anybody go watch this, you'll enjoy it. It's just such broad appeal. This one, I feel like I'm telling my friends already, like it's a lot of fun, but I can see where some of my friends might go and be like,
dude, that was
so
goofy,
so dumb. And I'm like, I don't know, I was just in on it like the whole time from like the first 10 minutes on. I was like, I'm with them.
It never lost me.
And I just kept laughing. It's another movie where I have no idea how long it was because I never felt any drag or disappointed.
It was 2 hours.
2 hours. Who would have guessed that I needed 2 hours of it?
I know.
It seems
but
like
they squeeze a lot of plot into 2 hours.
They sure do.
It would be so like, it would actually be kind of a fun exercise to walk through the actual plot of this movie. Because it by the time they're in this basically like hidden lair in the beginning or in the end, it's like, wait, how did we even get here?
Yeah.
Okay, can we get into something real quick? This is a major spoiler.
Okay.
So I saw this movie with Molly, my daughter Molly, who's been on this podcast, and her friend, our friend Chloe. And literally, I have witnesses. The second it showed Allison Williams' boyfriend on the screen, I lean over to Molly, I go, he's the bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying like, but I called that literally the second he was on the screen.
I can't say anything as dramatic as that. I had nobody to turn to, but I was going to say the same thing. 100% saw that coming.
Oh my gosh.
Early on.
But I don't think it matters.
No.
It doesn't matter. And then even at the beginning when Amelia is killing all those people, she says something like, you don't understand what's really going on or something like that. And I can't remember if she said that first and then you saw that dude or you saw that dude and then she said that. But that was all I needed to go like, yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, when they set him up, anytime they set it up, like her new partner who their whole thing is the exact opposite of whatever the villain is. Yeah. It's like it's you can't have such opposing opposites without them actually being connected.
Yeah.
So he's played by a guy with First off, the character's name is Christian.
That was
not
really
Christian.
funny.
Yeah, everyone kept saying Christian. He's like,
Christian. She's like, no, it's Christian.
and
Yeah.
then later he corrects somebody
Yeah.
doing it, but played by a guy named Aristotle Athari. And I was like, I don't know if I've seen this guy in anything. And I looked it up. I'd seen him in one thing, and it shocked the heck out of me.
I don't even know
because
what
he
it
was
is.
in a show called Silicon Valley. Had a very
okay.
small part,
Yeah.
but he's a lot heavier in Silicon
Okay.
Valley.
Okay.
And he's a very thin guy in this movie.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
so I was
does.
like-
He's not
and-
intimidating
and
at all.
He plays a total goober in Silicon Valley. I mean, his whole role is that he's coworkers with these guys, and they all hate him.
Okay.
He's kind of like the Toby almost. And
Yeah.
he's wearing these like wearable. It's a wearable chair, so like he stands up and the legs fall down, but then he like sits him down. And his
Nice.
name's Gabe, and they all just like, I hate Gabe.
Nice.
And so I was like, I can't believe it's that guy is in
Yeah.
this movie. So it's really random. Anybody, most people have not seen Silicon Valley are all wondering what the heck I'm rambling
Yeah.
on about right now. But it was just, he just looks so different. It blew my mind.
Gotcha. And once again, just like everybody else, he's all in. When it's when the switch flips and he has to turn into bad guy, he's a great slime ball.
Yes.
He does a good job. And that was just a really satisfying scene when he locks himself in some chamber or something, and then Amelia just walks up behind him, and then she just comes out with his arm.
Yeah.
Like, awesome.
So again, another reference to this movie really understanding the ridiculousness of the movie is, so the girl Katie from the first one
Yeah.
has gotten really into like, I forget what the branch of karate is, but it's a branch of karate that
I know.
is made famous by
Aikido or
by
something?
Steven Seagal. So
Oh
she
my
looks up to
gosh.
Steven Seagal, and choosing Steven Seagal is like the perfect, we're having fun here,
It
guys.
is.
Because there's so many action heroes. You choose Bruce Lee, it's not funny. It's Bruce Lee, it's
It's
respectable.
perfect.
You choose Steven Seagal.
And Steven Seagal has a 0% approval rating. So no one
Exactly.
cares if you make fun of him. It's
Exactly.
perfect.
And then when
Oh my
when
gosh.
Gemma's trying to signal to her,
Just
unleash her
incredible.
karate, and she drops like three
It's like,
Steven
we're
Seagal titles.
under siege. And then she's finally like, come on, Gemma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff where I mean, it's like they're really taking a big swing.
Yeah.
That joke could fall so flat, but because everyone's just so committed, and like you said, it's just everyone's on the same page. It works.
Yeah.
It's such a great gag too, like when it just shows Gemma's locker and they're just a Steven
It's
Seagal.
Katie, but yeah.
Katie,
Gemma's
I'm
the-
sorry.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
You're right.
Yeah. Where did Gemma's her? Is that her
Yeah, it's
actual
her
name?
aunt. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm
the-
sorry.
yeah, Alison
but yeah,
Williams.
so good. So good. And you're right. Steven Seagal is just the perfect target. Yeah.
Man, I feel like I probably keep going on and on just talking about like how much I love the ridiculousness of this movie.
I mean, that's
but
what else do you talk about though when you're talking about Megan 2.0?
it's a great question. You're so right though. Like most of the time, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, these sequels are just going to mostly retread the same
More or
territory.
less. They throw in like a different twist, like one little twist, like they're in a new location, or
Yeah.
there's one like
There's now two Megans,
right,
you
or
know,
there's
yeah.
it's the aunt and the niece plus a boyfriend, or like we just find little ways. This is like, no, we are completely expanding this entire universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Critically, this has not been as loved as the praise that we're showering on it. Only a 58% from critics. I don't think the critics understood the assignment.
I don't think so either. I just don't think people were ready for how big of a departure this was for the first one, which is going to lead to a whole nother discussion, which is the box office.
Yeah. So the audiences have been higher on it though, 85%.
Yeah.
Felt like it was a good response in the theater that I was in
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
People seemed to enjoy it. It did have a $25 million budget, which is about double the first one's budget, I believe. And what can you tell us about the gross so far?
It tanked.
Oh no.
It made $17 million worldwide this weekend.
Okay.
The original opening weekend was $35 million.
So what you're saying is the second one had double the budget and half the gross.
Yeah. And then this one in the United States this weekend, its gross was $10 million. I really want to talk through this with you. I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand who went to see Megan 1 that just was out on Megan 2, which clearly happened. Like a third of the people, or, a big dip in the amount of people that saw Megan 1 did not go see Megan 2.
That is really strange. What I'm mainly curious about is competition.
Yeah. So, okay, so here's the thing. I have thought this through a little bit. Megan 1 had the advantage of opening in January, which is notoriously like just a dumping ground for movies that they don't think people are interested in.
Right.
And Megan 1, like I said, it kind of caught on virally with that dance. So it had a built-in like social media audience that were ready to go see it. Plus people like me who are just like, oh, I like, just horror-ish movies. So it was kind of double dipping in its audience. It was drawing in like my teenagers, or the age my kids were in 2022 knew about Megan from TikTok. I just was like, hey, it's January. There's not a lot of stuff coming out. Here's a AI horror movie produced by James Wan. So it was kind of double dipping. So, I just never expected this to open so low. Now, there's a big difference between opening a movie in June and opening a movie in January.
Yeah. And sad to say, like, looking at its competition now, F1 obviously is a big movie, but there's still a lot of holdover of these movies, your How to Train Your Dragon, the Lilo and Stitches and stuff that a lot of families are still going to.
I'm just really surprised, but I also think, it really does seem like the 3.5 year difference really hurt this. And I'm glad they, I think part of it was the strike, of course, and just like they so quickly announced the sequel after Megan 1 had such a good opening and a good reception. I think they just got a little bit too far out ahead of themselves. Because Megan 1 came out and it kind of met people's expectations of just wanting this to be like a fun AI thriller, and it was. And so then I think there was a window of time where people were all in for a Megan 2. And then I think just the long wait period hurt it. And then in the meantime, we are getting other AI horror movies and stuff like that. So it just sadly did not have the interest that it probably would have had they managed to get it out, a year or a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, it was scheduled for like January 2024, I think, which would have been 2 years. And then, releasing again in January, which is a lot of times slower. I'd like to think it would have been more successful then, but I was really, really shocked to see this open so low.
Yeah. I wonder if, I think the preview was a good preview for it, and that like the preview let me know exactly what I was in for.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, I wonder if like, was there something about the preview that people
was it just too big of a departure?
It might have been too much.
That preview really, yeah, you're right. That preview lets you know it's going to be ridiculous. Not to the extent that it is, but it's like there's that scene in the preview, like it shows her like when she's flying to like go to that secret lair at the end. There's a scene in the preview where it shows her like doing karate. They have like some kind of sticks or something attached to a pole. Yeah. So I don't know if people just saw that and were like, oh, no, she's not scary anymore. So I don't know. It's really fascinating to me. It just, the numbers don't lie. This movie just did not land with an audience.
Speaking of the preview, I do want to point this out because it was a preview I felt like I saw, 50 times. There are a couple things in the preview not in the movie.
There are. And they do the Marvel thing where they show, like they disguise. So like they show the scene in the preview where Megan's talking to Cole. Is that what we decided his name was? She's like, hey, sorry about that.
Yeah. And
it's Megan as we know her. In the actual movie, it's like this half repaired version of Megan, which is also a funny gag and stuff. So yeah, they did everything right.
Yeah.
Same director, same writer, same produced by James Wan again, same cast. Like, I don't know. It's a bummer to me that this failed so badly.
Yeah. They didn't have the like man on the streets shot in the movie of like the long haired guy going, I don't care if she did kill people. She's a smoking hot warrior princess, which I think they could have left that out of the preview. I think that was probably one of the bits of the preview that was like too much.
Yeah.
It might have turned people off a little bit.
Could have been. I don't know.
There's also the line in the preview that wasn't in the movie, to my recollection, where in the preview it sounds like Megan's talking to Amelia and she says, I'll make a deal with you. You can kill Gemma. Just don't touch
like,
Katie.
Megan.
Yeah, she's like, Megan. She's like, I'm joking.
Yeah.
And that wasn't in the movie.
No. And I actually appreciate when that happens because I go to the movie so often. I see previews so much. So it's a nice surprise. But I just don't know, like, I don't know. I would have, if you'd have asked me 2 months ago, I'd be like, yeah, Megan 2 is going to end up being another. I didn't think it was going to make like, Marvel, like old school Marvel money, but I was like, yeah, it's going to like triple its budget. And I'm sure we're probably going to get Megan 3 and 4. And now, I doubt it. And that's a real bummer because these are, I like spending time with these people in these ridiculous situations. So
Yeah.
just a real bummer for the box office. And, I just don't see it having like, if you wanted to go see this movie, you were going to go see it this weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I mean, I guess the hope is just that it gets the inevitable Academy Award nomination bump,
Yeah. I mean, obviously
beginning
that's
of next year.
Yeah.
When it's up for Best Picture and people are like, oh, I let it get by.
I mean, when it wins Best Picture,
Right.
and they're like, "Well, I need to go see the Best Picture." Yeah, I mean, the only hope it has is just that it. I mean, even though it was double the budget of the original, $25 million is still a low budget. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. Sometimes the box office breaks my heart, and
Yeah.
it did this weekend.
Next week's box office may be a little forgiving, even though there's a big release.
Yeah,
Again, in Jurassic World, it really is the only like kind of new release
it
next
is.
weekend.
It is,
And
but
so, that might allow some other movies to stay, in the running a little longer.
I don't know. I would have never guessed this was going to open so low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bummer.
it is, and I don't want to like wrap things up on a bummer, but it's something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. So, just to be positive again, I just want to say this. It was a Friday that I went and saw F1 and Megan 2.0 back to back. And
In that order.
it's about the most fun movie watching day I've had in a long time.
Yeah. I saw Megan on a Friday and then F1 on a Saturday, but still, like,
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's why I was texting you. I didn't give anything away. It was just like, what a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both couldn't wait to come in here and podcast.
Yeah,
about it
I was
'cause
like
we knew we
antsy
were
to
just
get
gonna
in
be
here.
like, what a blast that
Oh
we
my
had
gosh,
both
what a
times.
blast.
Just two totally different types of fun, but your crowd pleaser, everyone's gonna love it. To your like goofy, ridiculous, over the top,
Yep.
just a good time.
Yeah, it was such a good time. And like I said, I just am kind of at a loss for words at just how willing they were to be ridiculous with this. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think? Do you think that's a good approach for a sequel to, it's like you establish this Megan character, and then do you think that works to just kind of release all the shackles and just be like, we're just going to let this character just go? Or do you prefer kind of we're going to play it pretty safe and just maybe add a little bit new?
I think in this case it was the right.
It was the
move
right call for
because
this,
I don't think
wasn't
there
it?
was more story to tell in the other style.
Yeah.
I think they were like, we did it right. Like it's
That's
not going to work again.
Right.
Like sometimes you need the slow ascent. Sometimes you need Rocky 2 and 3 between Rocky 1 and 4. You can't go from Rocky 1 to Rocky 4. That's
right.
what this one was like. It was like going from Rocky 1 to Rocky 4.
Totally was. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because, you think about it, it's like, what story would it have been? Because that's what worked about Megan is that, the Allison Williams character created this doll and all that. So it's like, now they know Megan's a threat. So she can't get back into their house again. And you can't stretch a whole movie out of, like, oh, Megan's just showed back up and she's chasing us through the house again. So, but I don't know. They could have, I'm just thinking like the filmmakers could have just cashed the check. I mean, like, okay, Megan 2, sure. Oh, she's back and she's going to kill him again.
Yeah, which is one thing I guess I should shout out is the filmmaker, the director of the movie, whose name is
Gerald something, right? Or Geraldine or
Why am I failing to find where? Oh, there it is. Gerald Johnstone.
There we go.
He hasn't done a lot. And Megan was like his first big movie. And so going from Megan to the sequel of Megan, yes, on the one hand, he could go, this is my paycheck chance. But instead, I think it was like, hey, I've done one thing that people really responded to, and it's precious to me.
Yeah.
And so like he was real. It's I read in the trivia like he was like I want to do right by this character in this
very
movie and make sure,
hands-on.
the people really cared about it, so I don't want to do it in injustice. And so like as we're talking about them going big and ridiculous, it's not like somebody else came in and said, oh, this first Megan movie, I wasn't a real fan, so let's do something really wild and different. This is somebody who did it and then said, I think the only way to continue this is
to go so big,
blow it out.
And did they ever, man?
Yeah. This was such a fun double watch with F1 that I was like, I literally might do that double feature again.
I would.
Like in a week, I might just go back and and check both of these out again.
I would watch them both again. Like Megan too, in a lot of ways, almost warrants a second viewing because there is so much happening in this movie, and there's so much communication in this movie through like the little AI,
so
thing.
much disembodied voice.
Yes, like I guarantee you, there's lines I missed.
For sure.
Guarantee there is.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, there is some cool like they got some good mileage out of like, okay, Amelia's here somewhere, and all of a sudden her little thing just lights up, and she was just hidden, and it was like that was cool.
Yeah,
like, that was pretty cool.
Great little things to keep the story moving along. That like, they need to find Amelia. Well, the cop has a phone with a tracking device that he hands off to him. We don't need to know why he has that. We don't need to know it. Like, perfect. Now we can keep the movie moving along.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So really, really good job with this movie. We recommend it. If you have any tolerance for like ridiculous, over the top fun,
you're gonna like this movie. Like,
know that's what you're getting into, and I think it does a great job of it. So next week, we've already referenced it, but the big release is Jurassic World Rebirth. We're not huge Jurassic World people. I mean, ultimately, we're the type of movie snobs that says they should have probably ended at Jurassic Park. But that's not what we've got. We've got a world where...
So here we are. My kids are excited.
Yeah.
They like the Jurassic World stuff.
I'd say I've got a lot of people in my life who really enjoy them. Yeah. So I'm going to check it out. And
as am I.
I'm trying to say this just to be honest in saying that I go in skeptical, not because I'm like proud of that, but just that's just honestly how I felt. So I'm gonna want it to be good, but I know it's gonna have to win me over a little bit. So, and next week, I'll be in Tennessee on vacation visiting family for the next month. So this is the last one that we're doing in person for a month. We're gonna be doing remote episodes. So
we did it last summer. We survived.
Yeah, it worked out.
And it made our reunion that much sweeter.
That's right.
That's right.
So thank you everybody for joining us for this discussion, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.